welcome back to a belated episode, guys, of the Property Sourcing Success Show. You've probably noticed if you've been tuning in to the podcast for the last 6 or 8 weeks, we're pretty regular like clockwork on Thursdays, but a mixture of being hit by whatever plague has been doing the rounds over the last couple of weeks. I haven't been as consistent, but we're back tonight, and here's the 4 things I want to talk to you about tonight. Well, really, it's the one thing I want to talk to you about with a 4-point caveat. And really what I want to talk on the podcast about today, guys, is the 4 most common objections that you will likely ever hear if you're running a portfolio building business, deal sourcing business, deal packaging business. Remember, they're all the same in the one thing. But at some point in time, when you're liaising with investors, you will come up against objections. And what I've done for this episode today is really distill those objections down into the 4 most common ones that I have heard in my time and give you the rebuttal to them so that you're well prepared, that you're well versed, and the next time an investor has an objection, you can bust them out of the park with your well articulated comeback. Okay, so let's get straight to the point, guys. How many times have you heard the objection from a potential investor client? Well, surely I could surely I could source these investing properties myself. I've heard that one, by the way, a million times. I could just do it myself. Well, side note, sweet cheeks, if you could do it yourself, you would have done it by now. So clearly something's gone awry there. But if you haven't heard that directly from a potential client, then you have probably, almost certainly, thought about that same objection in your own time. Why would somebody pay me to source these properties when really, if they wanted to, they could do it themselves? Why would someone pay me to source investment properties for them when it's so accessible? Why would somebody pay me several £1,000s to talk to an agent, to make an offer, to seal the deal? You've probably thought about these things. You've probably gone over those objections in your own head. Well, here's the very clear reality. If you run a serious sourcing and portfolio building business, then you will know that there is a hell of a lot more involved when it comes to doing the job and, caveat, doing it well. There is a reason why sourcing pays handsomely at a standard £3,000 per bog standard deal. And it's not because sourcing is like going on a trip to Disneyland. So what I really want to do, and this is on a podcast, so you can listen to this on repeat, or if you're sitting in front of your computer now, or if you're listening to this back on Spotify, take notes. Because what I really want to do is give you a few simple objection handlers for the next time that you deal with an investor who says, why would I pay you? Couldn't I just do this myself? Objection handler number 1. Objection handler. My business knows the right people and the right people know me. So it's the most overused cliche in property, guys, but the reality is it's very true. Your network really is your net worth. And as a professional portfolio building business, you will literally have to have your finger on the pulse with all the movers, all the shakers who have the ability to put opportunity in front of you, and simply the ones that the open market would never get to see. The best deals, whether you like it or not, are done behind closed doors, and they are reserved for people who can act quickly and follow through. And by the way, that's you with your portfolio building business. And that's why your investor client needs you if they want to get deals that nobody else can. So that's objection handler number 1. Objection handler number 2. My company knows the market like nobody else. So here's the reality. When you're running a sourcing business, one of your biggest strengths is the depth of the knowledge that you will have on your investment patch. Being a master of the market within your patch is your secret weapon. You know how long it takes for the average property to sell. You know the value of the average properties that's selling. You know how long it takes, the demand for rentals in the area, the areas to stay away from, the areas of high demand, the areas of strong rental yield. What does the rent fetch? Where should I be staying away from? Where are the areas of high capital appreciation? And this is just to name but a few. So these are strengths that your investor client does not have and would take them months to research. And without the research, the chances of making a dud investment on their own rises significantly. So an investor will pay you for that area of expertise alone. Caveat: you need to study your area. You need to research your area. You cannot go into this blind because you will be found out. Make sure you know your market like nobody else. And the third point, guys, is the third objection handler that I would use simply is my clients are my number one priority, period. So let's be clear. Sourcing investment properties is a full-time job, and it's your responsibility and intention to relieve your investor clients of that, quite frankly, mundane burden. Most investors who attempt to try and do it themselves often find all their time consumed by the process, and they become more and more indecisive as the process inevitably prolongs. And then they get struck down by analysis paralysis, something I think we can all say that we have been struck down by at one point in time. But that's why they need you. You are a professional, you run a professional portfolio building business, and you do all the heavy lifting and get the job done. So the next time, guys, that you are confronted with an objection in person or within the confines of your own mind about why somebody would need the services of a sourcer, please keep these top 3 reasons in your back pocket and go for gold. So to recap, 3 objection handlers. My business knows the right people and the right people know me. Elaborate on it. Number 2, my company knows the market like nobody else. Make sure you do know the market. And number 3, my clients are my number one priority, period. Prove it. It is on you to prove it. In my experience of dealing with investors over the last 8 years, guys, one thing I know to be true: people with money pay for convenience. That's just a fact across the board. People with money pay for convenience. It is on you to be able to clearly articulate to that investor just how convenient your portfolio building service is. And with that, I will let you go and enjoy the rest of your day. I hope this has been useful. Objection handlers are something that a lot of portfolio builders and sourcers will come up against, whether at networking events, whether it's in the market, whether it's dealing with peers, having investor meetings. You will, on occasion, come up against investor objections. Those are the top 3 that I have come across in my 8 years of doing this, and that's exactly how I've learned to answer them back with the handlers that we've given you today. So if this has been useful, fab. As always, tune in every Thursday when we have a brand new episode. And I do have one favor to ask you guys. If the Property Source and Success podcast is useful, if it has helped you in any way, if it has given you any golden nuggets, if it has inspired you in any way, all I ask is that you share it with a friend. I am genuinely on a mission in 2025 to shake the dust off the sourcing industry, because there's a lot of shit out there, and I would really love it if you could share the podcast, and if it helps somebody else do something ever so slightly better in their sourcing business, then you've made my day. Until next week, guys, have a great evening. Bye bye.